Okay people, welcome back to the channel. I've tried to shoot this I think 15-20 times, and for some reason I just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblocks. So let's get started. Welcome back to the channel. I can't, I mean, this is just what basically keeps happening. Yes, I have been gone for a bit, but I've been productive. I've come up with a few videos to put together, and I'll be doing each one in the next coming weeks. So with that said, welcome back to the channel. What I'll be talking to you about today is how to interview, and I'm calling this series Interview War Games. It's a two-part video. In the first part, I'm going to cover two topics. In the final part, I'm going to cover how to actually prepare for interview questions and the type of questions that you're going to come across. If it's your first time here and you enjoy the content and you find it helpful, hit subscribe and the thumbs up button. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps support the channel. If you believe that these videos will help other people, please pass that on to them as well. With that said, let's get started. I'll be talking to you about the whole purpose of the interview. What is the point of having one, and why are you there? And then the second part of this video, I'll be talking about intelligence gathering. And I call it intelligence gathering for a purpose, and you will find out why. So the point of an interview is basically you applied for the job, and then employer says, hey, I like the resume, let's call this person in, and you got the interview. Congrats, you were halfway there. Interview is basically you getting your foot in the door. The employer wants to see that the resume in their hand basically matches up with the person that's in front of them. With that said, if you can't back it up, don't put it on your resume. If you get caught, it's embarrassing, and you're gonna have a hard time finding a job, because believe it or not, the world is a very small place, and people know each other, and people will start talking. During an interview, it's the employer's opportunity to get an idea of who you are and what you're about. Think of interview as like a date almost. If an employer is going to spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day with you, they want to be sure that you fit in with the company and the culture, and that you will actually be able to do the job. It's a vetting of your competence and who you are just as a person in general. For this part, I'll be talking about intel gathering. Yes, that first part was very short, because the purpose of an interview is self-explanatory. So, intel gathering. The employer is going to do their due diligence in trying to find out who you are and what you're about. Yes, they are going to go to social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So all those party pictures you've got put up, it's probably a good time to take them down. So it's only fair that if the employer is going to do the research on you, you do your research on the employer. Once again, it's just like dating. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Your friend comes up to you and goes, oh my God, I just found someone, and he's cute, and he's dreamy, and he's beautiful, and he's perfect. And the first thing your friend does is goes to Google and says, hey, he's not single, He's got a wife and 3 kids. Same thing with guys. A friend comes to you and says, yo, what's up, man? I found a girl. She's cute. I like her. And the first thing your friend does is goes to Google and says, hey, I found your girl. She's got a boyfriend and it ain't you. So yes, it's only fair that you do your interview, not your interview, your due diligence on the employer. Have an idea of what that company is about, the products and the services that the company offers. So if you are a highly conservative religious person, why would you apply for a job at Playboy? It doesn't make any sense. Am I right? Have an idea of what the company's short and long-term goals are. If those goals don't align up with your goals and your professional agenda, why would you try to get a job at that company? It doesn't make any sense. All you do is you hold yourself and your career back. And at that point, that's when a career becomes a job. And the job is just a chore. And a chore just provides a paycheck. Don't do that to yourselves. I've done that to myself in the past, and it's because it was a recession, bad economy. I didn't have a choice. I just took a job just to keep going. That's what happened. But finally, at some point, I did find a career, and here I am today. Have an idea of why you want a job at that company. For example, if you enjoy travel and you're applying to Delta, it makes sense. Well, maybe not today because of all of what's going on, but you get the point. If you like to eat and you want to become a chef and you learn how to cook and you want a job at a top restaurant, I get it. Talk about that interview. Why do you want a job at that company? If you are just there for the paycheck, please, for the love of God, don't tell them that. Don't be that obvious about, yeah, guys, I came here just for the paycheck and I don't really care about anything else. They probably will not hire you. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've done that. And no, I didn't get those jobs. But back then I was young and stupid and I made all my errors back then. But you know, I've grown up. Do your research on the person that is going to do your interview. Yes, it's okay to creep on them. Don't go to their house. They will call the cops. Just don't. But go to LinkedIn, go to Google, find out who these people are. If it's an interview process that involves more than one person interviewing you, you won't know who everyone is, but just get an idea of who at least 1 or 2 people are. The reason why I tell you that is because you want to find common ground with these people. Why? Why do I care who these people are? Because people want to work with other people that they feel comfortable with. If people don't feel comfortable with you, or if they don't like you, or they just get the bad juju vibes from you, they won't hire you. You can have a great resume, you can have a fantastic interview, you can have 5 PhDs, and you can have built 2 rockets for Elon and Tesla and SpaceX. They won't hire you if they don't like who you are. For example, back in 2013, I interviewed for a job with Pepsi. And as you can tell, I stutter. And during the interview, I had an interview with the regional vice president of the company. And he asked me, he said, do you stutter? I told him, yes, I do stutter. And he said, hey, I have a brother that stutters. And for the next 15, 20 minutes, all we talked about was stuttering. he and I found common ground. I started telling him all the problems I've had, everything I've had to go through, all the things that stuttering has taught me. And at the end of the interview, that's when he told me, hey, I like you. Even though you have a stutter, and I can tell that it does cause some apprehension, I can tell that you didn't allow that to hold you back. And this is a sales job, and you are the kind of person I want working at this company. And he recommended me for the final interview. So what I'm trying to tell you is he and I found common ground. And he liked me and enjoyed the interview and talking to me. And he said, hey, I like you. Let's do this. So he felt comfortable with me. At the same time, I felt comfortable talking to him. I mean, let's be honest, I'll talk to anybody. So find out what type of interview it is. And the person that calls you for the interview or sends you an email about the interview, they will tell you if it's in phone, virtual, or in person. During these times, it won't be an in-person interview. People don't want to be close to each other. Why? I mean, let's be honest. There's a whole pandemic going on and people just don't want to be in close quarters. So it will either be a phone or a virtual interview. If you don't have any practice doing phone or virtual interviews, it's fine. Just practice. Call a friend and start talking to them and doing mock interviews. And yes, it will probably take a phone interview or two to kind of get the hang of it. One of the things I did is I put on a two-piece suit and a tie for every phone interview to trick the brain into thinking that I am in an actual interview setting. I had to do that because, I mean, simply put, I'm a people person. And if I'm not in person doing the interview, I started having all these roadblocks and all these other problems. So I had to trick the brain into thinking, Fazil, you are at the actual interview. Also, people, pay your bills. Pay the phone bill, pay the internet bill. You don't want to be in a scenario where it's time to do the interview and the phone's been cut, or you don't have internet, or whatever the problem is. Can you tell I've had that problem in the past? Yeah, it's been a long 10 years. However, if you do have an interview in person, cool. Go scout out the office. Actually go there. Find out how long it takes to get there. Is there traffic? How far is it? Is there parking? Do you have to take the bus? Do you have to take Uber? Whatever. Get the logistics on how to get there. So on the day of the interview, you don't have those problems. Also, dress up for the interview. It doesn't matter what type of job it is, dress up for the interview. First impressions are everything. Back in the day when I applied for a job at the TSA in Atlanta, Georgia, yes, the TSA, water thieves, the people that take your water bottles at the airport and they open your bags and they just go through everything. I've seen people come in a polo and jeans. I've seen one person, or I saw one person come in a bright purple pimp suit and a green shirt. No, I am not kidding. I actually saw that happen, and I'm just thinking, why would you do that? I understand this is just the TSA, but still, people, be presentable. And long story short, they didn't get hired. When you do put on a suit, please, 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 clean your shoes. Yes, people do still pay attention to your shoes. And the way I found out was in the Army. It was not fun. I spent a lot of time on my palms. And I also though found out the hard way in an actual job interview when the employer said, "Hey, great suit, I love your tie." And I'm thinking, yeah, I dressed myself. I picked out the suit, picked out the tie, and he says, "Good job, how come you didn't clean your shoes?" What that says is attention to detail. Just because you got on a suit, don't think people don't pay attention to all of you. That first impression is everything. Attention to detail. No matter how fine that detail is important, either they're on a project or something just as simple as cleaning your shoes. All right, so for today, that's all I have. Part 2 is coming up. I should have that out in the next couple days. Once again, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Once again, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps out the channel. If you think that this video can help other people, please tell them. Please send them this video. Until next time, peace out.